Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Minecraft series. Today's episode is episode 8 of season 13, and we are starting things back off yet again on this small little island to look at our little terraforming project and how it is going. In the last episode we made quite a lot of progress. I'm really quite happy actually with what I managed to achieve here. I think it actually looks really quite good and quite natural. And now it's really just about time to, continue on with terraforming it all. I do think, now looking at it, it might be a really good idea to just continue like this vibe all the way over to this area as well. I still would really like a little cave area like in the middle of all of this, but I think that should be quite possible with still the same vibe going on. But yeah, what is going on here I really like. And I think it's a good idea to actually make this go overflowing into this area first before I start doing that area, so that this part is just completely finished, right? I think that is the smart way to go around doing this. We do also need to fill in all of this area and stuff like that, but I'm not too worried about that right now. I don't know why there are that many squids there, but that's fine. Anyway, let's quickly sleep away the night and drink some water before we start things off. There we go, and let's see. Boom. Boom, there we go. Alright. So, we got quite a hefty task here, I would say, with, making this terraform, so to say. So it's gonna be interesting how to do this. Oh, I still have the FM thing enabled. There we go. I think we should start off with removing this tree, which is a bit sad because it's one of the really old school trees. I mean, it's so old school that the logs didn't go sideways yet, which is really a funny throwback. But yeah, back in season 1 and stuff like that, when I grew these trees, the logs didn't have the capability of going sideways yet, which this tree, which apparently grew later on, did have like that. So it's quite funny how it used to work like that, I suppose. But yeah, there we go. We do have to remove these trees because, well, they are full on in the way of the stone. And I think it's a good idea to really start mapping out where I want this cliff, so to say, to be lined out. And I do have to keep looking upwards here as well a little bit. But I think something like this would make the most sense, and then maybe we can keep this tree. This, covering this up, I don't care that much about. Out here it's of course going to transform into a hill again, which it kind of already is, so I don't really need to put that much effort into it. I'm just gonna fill up the holes that are in this hill, so to say. But yeah, it's kind of gonna transition from that whole, what's it called, the cliff area into a hill area right around this point. I guess this tree also definitely needs to go though first. And I think this one, I kind of didn't want to take it down, but I think this one will have to go as well, since like half of it is already underneath the dirt. So yeah, we'll just go cut it down. We can always place a new tree back down later, right? But for now, I think it just has to go, which is fine. Let's see, there we go. And in there, alright. Now we just cut out all of the little pieces, and then all of the leaves will just vanish over time here, of course. There we go. I think I got every single log. I mean, all of the leaves are quite see-through, so that should really be it. Oh, okay, there we go. And cut down all of this as well. There we are. Should this one go as well? I think these two are like fine. They are just about on the edge of what would be capable, or what would be possible, so to say. And then here we start filling it in, right? So here's a little steep, but I mean, it is steep over there as well, so it makes sense. It kind of has a transition of just being a steep hill to being like an actual cliff, right? And I think that does make sense. Just in general, like it is not a bad thing, so to say. It doesn't look, it shouldn't look weird. Oh, hello. It shouldn't end up looking too weird, that transition, but I do need to make it good. Like a good bit of thought has to go into it, into how to make it look good, because this is quite a rough transition. I think this right here it should already start, so this will be more like hill, and then there it will be more like cliff, and they need to really go together quite well, which will be interesting to see how I'm supposed to do that. But yeah, will be interesting, will be interesting. Now, of course, this is where I made the stone line right now, but when we go to this stone line, which is the stone line of the bottom, which is of course the same as that, and you look up, it of course goes out quite a lot. So technically, this stone line actually should go back quite a bit more, because it's almost straight underneath it right now, which doesn't make sense, which is a good thing, because that will make my life a bit easier, I would say, if that makes sense. So we're kind of gonna have it be like this still here, but then it kind of sprinkles in on itself until it just kind of converts into the hill, so to say. So right here it starts becoming more hill than cliff. I think this will be a good way to do it, and I'm just gonna try and build upwards in order to achieve the same effect that we had here. It will be more difficult than carving it out like I did here, but I'm gonna try it, and I think I'm gonna start on this side. So basically what I'm gonna be doing is slowly but surely go up like this, right? And then go outwards a little bit over time, bit by bit. Like here it's going out a little bit, right? And it kind of needs to flow into that area. Out here it will be really quite straight, so to say. It will be rough, I guess the word would be, although it doesn't need to be this rough actually. So we can go down here and then here, and now we want it to have a nice little transition from that point to this point, right? At some point I do also need to add in more dirt to this, so that's not just one layer, but this is all really quite tricky to do from so far away, so to say. Like in terms of, you know, I'm not far away, but like that's the whole thing. I'm so close to it, so it's so hard to tell what exactly I'm supposed to do next. Like a couple of these should definitely be dirt, just so that it makes sense. Otherwise it's just a flat dirt top, right? And that is something we do not want. But then how am I gonna judge where to do what piece? That's something that I have to think about. Like maybe here, here, and then a bit there, like that. Then a bit there. Get that there, you know, all the good stuff. Maybe I should even outline it first and then just kind of build up to it like that. Why is there completely no music, by the way? Did I turn... Oh, I turned it off. Oops. Oops. There we go. Now we should have it again. In fact, let me just rejoin the world real quick so that we get it immediately. So I've been missing it. There we go. It should start playing soon. Oh, that's just a gal. Maybe I want this one to be dropped back a little bit more. Like that. All the way like this. There we go. There. And I want this to be a bit more like that. There we go. I think I'm doing a pretty good job here, but hey, I of course don't really know for certain, because, like, you know, I cannot look at it from further away just yet, so to say. But I think I'm doing a pretty decent job with it right now. I'm hoping. Let's have a little more droop right there. Like so. Like that. And then just kind of going layer for layer, right? And I need to be careful to not cut into the trees too much. Like so. And then I want that right there. So it's really quite a close cut off. Oh boy, this is actually tricky. I'm hoping I'm doing a good job here, but I have like no way of knowing just yet, which is making it a little bit scary, I suppose, but a little bit fun as well. There. Because I need to keep in mind that it also needs to look good from that side. So not just from like the front here, but actually from the other side as well. So that's what I'm trying to do also. It's feeling good. Let's just keep it at that. It's feeling good, which is already a big step. There we go. Something like that I think will look good. We'll go into this later, like the down area here will come back to that of course, so it's not gonna stay like how it is right now for long. There. So I think here we already need to go up like rough. Then we actually stay forward a little bit. I don't know. Oh no. It needs to be way more outwards actually. Let's redo that real quick. So it actually goes out here already, right? And then it goes out already again. We go up by one more before it goes out again. And then I think that ought to make sort of sense. Maybe even here. Here. I don't know. It's a bit tricky. There we go. I think that will look decent. Boom. Oh, alright. Now I want to start making it way steeper here. Like way steeper, because right now it's been very, well, yeah, it's been very, like, bulbous, let's say. Let's quickly sleep away this night, by the way, and drink some more water. Like, it's been very curved now. Right, at this point it's really curvy. It goes out quite far. And now my goal is to make it way less curvy, so that it starts making sense to be like a hill at this point, right? Because that's the point we're reaching now. So it starts becoming way more straight. And then it will make sense that then all of a sudden there's a cliff area here. Or not a cliff area anymore, but a hill area, so to say. Okay, so this does need to continue for a little bit more. But then here it starts being really like just a little bit of space for them, right? Because this is going to be super steep. Now it even transitions to a little bit of a lower area. Oh, there we go. So like that, I think will already be good. Excuse me. Okay, let's actually fill all of this in as well, so that the grass can already start spreading there. I might make the dirt go up a little bit higher against the walls and stuff like that at some point, so that it's not just flat here. Add in some flowers and grass and everything, like just bone meal it a little bit. But for now this is fine, I think. And this feels sensible, so to say, so that you would like build here. Of course you have to think like, you know, a building cannot be completely on the cliff, because that wouldn't make any sense, or on the edge of the cliff. So it does need some space around it to breathe. Otherwise it would be like, how are you gonna build a castle on top of this piece of land, right? It looks like it's gonna crumble in at any point. That is what we're trying to avoid here by creating all of this. And I must say, from this point of view, at least it's looking really good. Like this little adding point, the point that we added here. This, of course, needs to go, but I mean, it's really difficult to see here, which might be in my, you know, good for me, since even if it is bad, you just basically cannot see it anyway. But I think I've done a pretty good job. If you like walk around here, this all looks good. So this looks natural, but not natural Minecraft way, but natural way. I don't know. How do I say it? Where's that witch? Ah, there you are. Boom. And death. There we go. But yeah, I like this. I like how this is starting to shape up. Now we got a difficult task of forming it into that hill form, so to say. I was talking about, and this is where, you know, the dirt line was needed, because now I know from what point I need to make it into a hill, so to say. If any of that makes sense, I don't know. So I need to watch out for a mistake like that. There we go. There, and now we're upkeeping with our rule of dirt always being on stone, which is a good thing. And now we are kind of going around like in a curve here, right? I was working on a straight area, now we're turning it around from facing in that direction while I'm building to facing it in this direction while I'm building. Which is quite cool. I think that's a good thing, because then we've really made that curve. And now I gotta see how I want to shape that curve up, right? That's what I have to find out now. Like, how do I want to do it? Oh, I'm falling, I'm falling. Okay, I just fell down a ladder. Alright, that happens, I guess. I've never had that happen before, I don't think, but well, at least not on accident. Let's just say it like that. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna cover up the hole for now, because I don't need to do that again. I mean, I'm safe because of the water and stuff, but that was just a bit silly. Anyway, moving on from that. So there. 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 I'm doing it in a different way now. I'm actually working from the top to the bottom, which is quite fun. How I'm like differencing in the way I'm doing this the whole time. But I think just like that for now it's good. Of course I want to make it more like this, but then it slowly, as I said, starts turning more and more into a hill instead of actually being all that much of a cliff. Because here it's hill area again, right? So now I need to have that transition again of it making sense that it's now all of a sudden grass underneath it and around it and yeah, all that kind of stuff. Which is going to be a bit tricky. I think this one should be one lowered, so to say. And then around it, it will go up a bit more here already. So like this, and then actually like that. And then it's slowly just all turning into stone here, right? Yes, I like how this is looking. Yeah, it okay, there's of course a big gap there in the building itself, but right now this doesn't look all that weird from the angle I'm looking at it right here. And I think this is a pretty good flow that we've created. Yeah. I think it's good. I think this might need some work still, so that it's more stone at the bottom, of course. That I said before, I might have to work on that a bit more, but I kind of like it. I kind of like it like this. I think this is pretty good. I think I've nailed it yet again quite well here. Yeah, alright, let's take a look at it from further away, from like a different angle here. Like maybe this tree. Okay, so it definitely needs dirt or the grass on top of it to, you know, actually become grass. But I like the way it's looking here. I think I've done a pretty good job. I'm happy here. Yeah. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, this is looking good. This is just looking like an actual nice little cliff. I think if I can manage to do the same job I did here to this area right here, and then make them mix and mang quite well, that would probably be perfect, to be honest. Like that, yeah. Nice, I'm actually quite proud of myself here. Alright. So, the thing I'm sitting with right now, right, is this little chunk right here. I like it, but I don't know how well it's gonna work with this. I guess what I should do first is actually expand the land here again, like I did over there. I think when I do that, it will actually already make more sense that this little chunk is right there. So let's do that real quick. Let's grab some more of my dirt and start expanding this bit of land next to our tower. Once again, I want to make it feel like it makes sense that you will build here. Like it's not just on the edge of the edge, so to say. So that is the effect that we got to create. Now, of course, we got to create a bit of flow here, which I think this is already doing. And I kind of want at least 2 blocks and sometimes 3 blocks to be sticking out, so to say. So like this, kind of going wobbly bob all the way down. Now, of course, it goes down quite quickly here, but that is fine. I don't think that's gonna create too many issues. If I create little transitions like this, it should be completely okie dokie, I do believe. So yeah, just little outlines like that. It goes like this, then it will be fine, I do believe. Then we have a big jump to there, which is like a really big jump. How do I want to do this? Maybe, oh, landed perfectly there, but my shift didn't work. Oh well. Maybe here we actually have just an actual jump in like the height of it. So the stone just is here and then it goes back into dirt again. So it's maybe like a really steep hill area like so. That slowly gets transitioned. Yeah, I think this is the way to do it. This is it. Yeah, this looks good, I think. It's just a little bit of a steeper area all of a sudden. But that is not a bad thing. There we go. We have little bits and bobs sticking out, of course. Alright. There we go. There we go. Okay, cool. I think we solved that little problem we had there. And now we just continue on with doing this. Like so. And like so. And now it of course starts curving in as well a bit more. So we need to curve with it. And then it goes lower here all of a sudden again. So we also go lower. Like so. I think this will look pretty good. And then here, we'll just continue this edge like that. That kind of creates a flow, so to say. Let's sleep away this night yet again, drink some more. And there we go. And then here we're almost at the area where the ground already just kind of is. So this is also where our cliff would really just end, right? Like this just becomes more hill-like instead of cliff-like. And up until this point it was more like cliff. And then it just, yeah, it's all hill here. Okay, and then this all makes sense. This of course needs to go, but that we'll do in a second. I think this will be a pretty good start for our cliff that we're gonna generate here, so to say. It will have a nice flow with that, and also I think I should just cover this up, right? Like this hole doesn't make sense, so might as well get rid of it. There we go. There we go, I think that's good. Alright, very interesting so far. How are we gonna do this next part? That's the question, of course, once again. And I think right now what I'm just gonna do is cut away all of that first. Make my life nice and simple. Not think too much about it just yet. Get some more resources going and stuff like that. And just cut it all out. Cut the noise out, so to say, so that I have a really nice view of what is going on. Alright. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, and boom. There we go. Let's put my stone in here. Put all of this in here. There. Okay. Also, let's for once actually play some of the music again that we have in our little box, of course. That has been not been done in many months. So boom. And let's just listen to the last one we listened to. Alright. So yeah, we're gonna start out. Oh, is the normal music now playing? Oh, that's unfortunate timing. Okay, we're gonna start out with digging all of this away, since it basically doesn't make any sense for it to be here. There goes right away, my goodness. But yeah, since it doesn't make any sense for this to be here, we're gonna cut it all out. That way we can make a nice look on what we're terraforming here. Literally the same as we did right there. I mean, there was all land right structured in there, right? Like, that's just 3 episodes ago. There was like a whole chunk of land here. And that terraforming job we did over there, we gotta do it on this side as well. Gotta do it on this side as well. There we go. Oh my goodness. Why? Why? Where? Are you kidding me? What's the one block I didn't check? You gotta love Minecraft and you gotta hate it sometimes. The ghost blocks, I mean the ghost blocks. Okay, I'm gonna do all of the dirt first, I think. Just get rid of all of that, so that I can just shuffle food. No. It's actually a pretty chunky bit of land that we gotta cut out here. Now that I'm doing it, I'm realizing that. And I'm probably gonna make quite a good chunk of this all water again as well, by the way. Like, I like the job that we did over there, right? That whole cut in like that. It just makes it make sense that there's a cliff there. It makes way more sense than when there's like a lot of land underneath it. So I'm probably gonna give the same makeover to this side. We'll make it more in theme anyway. There we go. Oh, I missed the music and everything like that. I missed it. My goodness, there's so much here. I'm gonna have to repair my shovel soon. And I have no idea how. I don't remember how I really got all of my XP. Oh goodness. Go. Let's pick all of this up real quick, put it into boxes. There. Put all of this in here. And continue. Continue the digging. Yeah, all of this needs to be terraformed as well now that I'm thinking about it. I need to add land mass to all of this, because it cannot be floating like I said before. It just cannot, because that makes it look like this doesn't look solid. It doesn't look like it makes sense. That like makes sense because it's on land, but it needs land around here. But of course terraforming this will be very simple in comparison to this right here, which is why I'm starting out with this, because this is like way cooler and way more fun, to be honest. So yeah. That is why I like starting out here. A bit more of a challenge, and I like challenge, alright? I do. This is like our pirate-ish side of the whole castle, so to say. Like, that's the vibe I'm getting from this, and the sand, and then the idea of a cave here, or something like that, right? That is the vibe I'm getting. Piratey vibe. Don't know why, but that's just the vibe I'm getting. So then... Where is it? What? What? Oh, there. So weird. So weird. Oh, what the shit? Okay, it's just this one. I hate ghost blocks. I hate them so much. Oh well. Nothing I can do about it. There we go. Oh! Where? There. Okay, it's all quite flattened out now. That is a good start. let's finish it off fully. But it is sort of done already, right? Like this, yeah, it's just a little finishing touch I need to do now, but it's not much. So that's good. We have gotten away of the whole chunk of land that was here. We're gonna get rid of probably way more in the near future, so to say. But not right now just yet, because, well, I want to do the whole terraforming part first. And the reason why I want to do the whole terraforming part first is that I can then get a vibe of that, and based off of that I can add in how it's gonna look here. Kind of like I did over there. I first terraformed it all and then added in all of the sand, because I couldn't match the vibe, so to say, and I don't know, I feel like I need that right now, right here as well. There's probably some ghost blocks, I'm just gonna relock. There we go. It's taking a little while, but there we are. Oh, a little ghost block right there, there, and there. That's not too bad. Alright, let's grab some more chicken, by the way, real quick. I'm like completely out. There we go. And there we go. So yeah, this, I'm not gonna bother with removing all of this just yet. It doesn't matter all that much. We got a very interesting task now of making this happen, which is gonna be, as I said, really interesting. I'm not even certain about how I want to do it. Like, do I want to start at the bottom or do I want to start at the top, right? I think I'm gonna start right here for now. So it kind of just ends here with like the cliffy side, right? So I'm gonna start here. And now I need to add in that dirt, extra dirt as well here already, in order to not make it feel so flat. Because this already feels flat, right? So I need little break-ups like this in order to get rid of that feeling. And I think I want to start out with that, which is going to be a difficult job, since it's going slightly up the whole time, but hey, that's fine. That is what I'm choosing to do here. So it's gonna have little ins and wins like this, and we're gonna just start out with making those in order for it to later on make sense. Otherwise it will not make sense, or it will be very difficult to make it make sense, so to say. So boom, little bits and bobs like that. Even going as low as that, I think will be good. Right, like so. Whoops here. And then here it of course is very much quite steep. Some of these have actually already the 2 height bit here, so that's good. And then we add in more here, then we have one that's straight. You know, just going around doing it like this, I feel is a good way of doing it right now. This is feeling like it's looking good. I don't know how else to explain it. It just feels like what I'm doing right now will make sense, so to say. That there. That there. Boom. Okay, let's sleep away this night real quick. There we go, drink some more water. There, alright. Go. Get rid of the bed real quick. Boom. Boom. And let's see. Oh, that's the wrong one. And now the last tricky little bit. Merging it all in with the area that was already going on here. But I think I'm doing an alright job at it. Like so. Okay, so now it's matched, and that looks like it makes sense, the matching there. Okay, very interesting. Now, I don't think I want to continue like this, like constantly doing this with the bridge and then just going lower and lower, so basically redoing what I've just done. I think I want to now start at the bottom and go up, but now that I have the outer edges, I have a more clear sign of where I'm going to go. with the stone. That I think is actually quite important, and this should really help me do all of this. Now I'm thinking, right, maybe in the future I will, by the way, add like things like andesite to it, so make it not so boring, because right now it's quite flat, of course. But right now I just want these straight lines, no extra this or that. That will all come in the future. I can always add that in later. Right now it's quite nice to just be able to focus on this, so to say. Yeah. Okay. Oh, there we go. Actually, like this. Now this part is gonna be quite simple because I'm already at the bottom. I don't need to do very much here, right? In order to reach where we're going. So that's nice, I suppose. But next up, when we start getting into that area right there, it will be a completely different story. Because I want to build a cave. And that is going to be very interesting. Like, very, very interesting. It doesn't need to be like an actual full-on cave you can really go into deep or anything, by the way. I just want a cave, so to say, or a really big indent. That's maybe the better way to say it. Yeah. That, and then I'm gonna start building this more layer by layer, so to say. So kind of like I did in the beginning of the episode, right? And then we kind of get this effect, which I think is pretty good. This is a pretty good start. Of course, this is all in the way. I guess we can kind of still dig this away. Like, this isn't gonna be here. This is all mainly gonna be water, and otherwise probably just sand. So yeah, this isn't all that interesting right now. It's just kind of in the way, but this is kind of the vibe I'm going for, and I think I'm doing a pretty decent job right now at it. So that's good. Anyway, now we need to start making. Are you kidding me? How? How? Of all of the places. Anyway. Now what I think I will do is basically make an outline of where I want the stone to start. And that is slowly gonna curve inwards like this, right? Like this is gonna go all the way to there. Here we have basically a cave system. Like right here. Is this deep enough? I don't know, but I'm basically not gonna make this section yet. And then kind of work around it, right? So now it comes back and we're working with this system again. So slowly curving to that wall right there, basically. Slowly but surely making its way over there. And this dirt layer I'm placing right now is not actually going to be significant. It's going to be the place where the stone starts, so to say. So that's where stone is going to start. Basically, like, the dirt that's underneath this block represents all of those dirt blocks, right? That's how you gotta see it. I don't know if that's a good explanation, but that's what I can come up with right now. Alright. Let's place you. Finally play that little music disc. Put away a bit of my dirt. And grab a bit more stone. Alright, let's get to work on it right now. So, as I said, this layer of dirt is going to represent basically where the outer bit of stone is going to start. So let's start working on that. And from this point I'm going to leave it. It's basically going to cave in that way. So it's going to not only go that direction but also that direction at this point. And then there will basically be a little area here for me to make a cave system in, which I think will look pretty cool. But yeah, let's get started on this first. So now we continue on with that steepness, slowly climbing up to these blocks. And they're gonna be more and more curvy here, since, you know, I'm going further and further away, way further away than I am actually doing over here. Like, this is pretty straight, meanwhile this one, this like goes curving in all the way, right? So this is going to be more and more curvy, where this is quite steep. This one is going to be boom, So right here, I'm actually gonna go up already at this layer, right? That's how quickly we go inwards. I don't know if I'm doing a great job at explaining the things I'm trying to explain. I'm hoping it all makes sense what I'm saying. If it doesn't, well, I'm sorry. I don't really know how to explain it otherwise. But I'm hoping it all makes sense. And that's the best I can do, I guess. There we go. Wow, that was a really short song. Boom. And I do want the curves to be still sort of random here, of course. There we go. Let's play the next one real quick. Also gives us a little sneak peek at how it's looking. Which I think it's going fine, I think. A little bit of chirp. Oh, always a happy song, isn't it? So the next one is right there. Is it playing a normal micro song again? It's not. Okay, I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry. Oops. Oops. I'm just going a little crazy, I think. Right. All the way here. It's way more curvy here. There. This one is allowed to be a little bit more steep. So it's basically gonna follow the same pattern, but just one block higher. And then it comes a little bit less like that. There we go. And this one starts here. Goes around it again. Goes even one higher here. There we go. There. I'm hoping I'm still doing a pretty decent job here. Of course, it's once again quite difficult to tell. But hey, that's how these things kind of just go. Boom. Okay, and so at this point, it's really going not in this direction anymore, but in this direction. So let's just quickly see how I've done here, maybe from like this angle. Yes, I think I like this. I think I do. It's a bit difficult, but I like it. So what we're gonna have to do now is basically start going inwards like this as well. So we're gonna start creating the curvature in this direction now. Which is gonna be really quite tricky. I think I can do it, sort of just like this. So that's still matching up to these points, right? Like so. Okay. Then we go back down here again. And we start expanding on this again. So we go up here. Like so, we just slowly expand the entrance of the cave. That's how I have to see it right now. Like this, this, and then steep one right there. This is a little scary, I'm gonna be real honest. Matching this up is so weird. I'm like fully out of my comfort zone right now. I also have no idea how good I'm doing. But right now it doesn't look bad yet. It looks a little bit curvy at the bottom, but still it doesn't look bad. Okay, I cannot sleep right now. We'll put the next disc in a second here. First I would like to sleep though. There we go. Drink some more water. Alright, cool. And okay, so what I think is smart is actually to start on this side now. Doing this side first, so that I can really work to each other, so to say. So yeah, we're We gotta reach that point. So this is going to be a point where it's gonna be really steep. There we go. Like real steep, you know? And we even have a little bit of a patch of dirt there, which is fine. I think we're just gonna leave it there. And here it will just kind of match into each other and we'll work around that patch of dirt. So like that. And like that. And here it will just have a little cliff area, so to say. I think that will be quite a cool little look, so to say. It's just a little bit of moss on the side of the cliff, right? I think that doesn't look bad in any way. It's a bit tricky to work it in here, but I think this is a fine way of doing it right now. Like how I'm doing it right now. Gotta go up to that point. So we go here. This one goes a bit higher, and then it's like that. Here we go. Next one. Really quite steep for a little while. Then we start going up with this curve. This one goes a bit sooner. There. Needs to be a bit steeper still before we go in again. And then around here is where it starts really going into its final little area, like that, and that. And there we go. Okay. I have high hopes of how it's going right now. I'm being quite positive. I'm feeling quite positive. Oh. Oh my goodness, what's going on? Okay. Just ignore that happened, I guess. But we do have a little gap right there that I missed. Whoops. Good thing I see it. I think we're gonna just match it like that. There we go. Yes, there's just a little patch of dirt right there, which I think is completely fine. I've also missed some... Oh, I just completely missed some dirt there. Okay, hold on. That does need to be fixed. We don't like that here. Don't really know how I missed that, but that's fine. There. This can be covered up like that. There we go. And then, of course, this area right here. Oh, you gotta be... This area right here is quite flat. This is actually naturally generated stone. And I don't know if I will change that or not. Like, make it like that. I probably should at some point. But for now, I'm gonna leave it and actually focus on this here. So, yeah. There you go. Do with that information whatever you want. Oh, that's a little earlier than I thought, but that's fine. We'll just curve it out a bit more. Like so. There we go. And then this one is actually way sooner than I thought. But that's also okay. It will just be a little bit steeper at the top. Or curve here at the top, actually. Which is fine. I don't think that's per se like a bad thing that it starts really steep and ends in a really curvy area. Maybe that's a bit too much, but in the grand scheme of things, I don't think you would notice, so to say. So it's fine. But I do need to start making it a bit more curvier a little bit earlier on in order to prevent that from happening again. So out here, we'll start working on that a bit more. there. There, something like that. And this one I might as well just redo, I guess, because I'm making them way too steep now. I'm realizing that I'm a little bit caught up in a system, and that system is a bit of a mistake, so to say. So I'm gonna take this one down. Please, there we go. This one I'm gonna take down and start curving it way, way, way sooner here. Like actually out here already. Because then it at least makes sense that it comes to that point, so to say. And I could just start curving it from here as well. Like going down with it. Just for it to make more sense. Sort of like that. And then we're already basically at the point where this is going to be starting to go into each other, right? So this, yeah, I already don't want to go much further into detail here. Boom. There. I'm so interested how this is going to look at the end. Like, what will all of this do, right? Boom. Maybe a bit sooner. There we go. Just so that I can really drive that home like that. There we go. And now we need to connect up these two parts, so to say. So this is where it starts getting intertwined with each other. So sort of like this. And like this. And then it starts being more curvy at some point. And then... Okay. Now I'm really in a dark zone of like, what am I doing? I must be honest. But I think I'm liking what I'm doing. I'm out of stone actually. Wow. I'm using a lot of stone with this one. How's it looking though? Ooh, it's interesting. It's very interesting. At some points it's maybe a bit rough. I would admit. Can I fly? Can I? Okay, why am I not flying? Come on, there we go. I think right here I just need an extra block. I think underneath this one. Oh, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Okay, let me just not be an idiot. There, that's what I wanted to add. And then it's fine, I think. No, I removed one of the dirts. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Where was it? There. Okay. Alright, it's not as big of an entrance of a cave as I first had in mind, though. This all needs to be steeper up here. Or not steeper, yeah, steeper. So less curvy. Okay, how are we gonna create that now? So this all needs to be way more curvy at the top. Like way more. At this point. So this, all of it. I want it to be completely curvy, so to say. So at this point, we start making all of them be like that. Let's see. Something like this. Then we start just really coming back on it, right? Oh, this is so difficult. this is way too low, so to say, because I want the entrance to be a bit bigger. Okay, let's sleep away the night real quick. Last one. There we go. So I want it to be just a bit more curvy up here, so that it's really steep down here. So that the entrance of this like cave is bigger. So this needs to be steep. And then out here it just becomes super curvy. Like boom. And the last moment it starts going all the way up. That's what we want to create here. Boom. Okay, open this all up. Like this, all of this. Right, and then here it's allowed to be more curvy towards each other. So it starts going a bit more like this as well, right? But then this kind of stuff we remove, so that it's really a grand opening to the cave. Of course it still needs to get smaller over time, but not nearly as small as I was making it before. Kind of like this, I think. Kind of like this. Boom. Like that. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, I know I'm a bit silent right now. I'm just really trying to focus on how I want this to be shaped. Just always a bit difficult, so to say. But I'm feeling like I'm doing a good job, but it's so hard to tell, especially right now. It's actually quite crazy. I feel like I've maybe made it too bit curved on this side still. Like a little bit too curvy, but that's fine. I can kind of get away with it being curved on more curved on one side than the other. But then it kind of just feels like it's going into a corner, right? Which is okay. Yes, I think I like what I've done now. I think maybe this needs a bit more filling here. But also maybe not. Actually, let's... Ow. Oh, I'm still flying. I'm still... Why do I just continue to fly? There we go. That one needs to be removed. There we go. Okay, I think I am gonna add more curvature to this part, by the way. Just because then it matches more with itself. So that little natural dirt area right there might need to be removed. But this, I like. I like the entrance of the cave that we got going on. I think this is good enough. Yeah, let's see it from a little further away here on our little island. Yes, 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 yes. I think this is quite beautiful. I also think we're just about out of time for today. That's fine. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Was a bit difficult doing this, but I'm happy with the result, and I am also happy with what we've managed to do here, right? Like, this is all good. This looks great. The transition is nice, and now the transition to this area over here I think is looking nice as well. Mine needs a little bit of a sharpening job to be done to it, but it's good. And then when we start adding in the sand here and here as well, you can really get a feeling of it, and then we can actually make like a cave area right there where there's a little bit of land. Yeah, I like it. Alright, anyway, I'm gonna have to end the episode right here. There we go. I do hope you all enjoyed today's episode. As always, I want to thank you all very much for watching. And I'll see you all in the next one. So yeah, for now, goodbye.